tonight's MJHL hockey action. I'm Mark Jones. Give me a cue or something. And the Centennial Arena in Swan Valley, Manitoba. That's a location of tonight's MJHL hockey action. I'm Mark Jones, filling in for your regular play-by-play broadcaster, Ricky Barker. Pleased to be in the seats here. I'm going to do a little bit of a, what would you call back? A flashback to the way the late Jim Robson used to do an intro. The Wayway-Sakapo Wolverines, 26 wins, 21 losses, 2 overtime losses, 2 shootout losses, 56 points out of 51 games. The Swan Valley Stampeders, 17 wins, 28 losses, 3 overtime losses, 1 shootout loss, 38 points out of 49 games. Swan Valley, 5th in the MGEU West of the MJHL. Wayway, 3rd in the MGEU West of the MJHL. As Jim would say, that's the matchup tonight from the Centennial Arena in Swan Valley, Manitoba. I mentioned Jim. For those of you that don't know, he was the play-by-play broadcaster of the Vancouver Canucks on radio for the first 25 years from 1970 through 95. We lost Jim in the last little while, in 91. And I bring him to light because he was a good friend of my dad's. They worked together at CKWX Radio. Walter Jones was the assistant sports director. Jim was the sports director. Look it up on YouTube. There's clips under the Vancouver Mounties and that in the late 60s before I was on this earth. But I got my hockey roots and broadcast roots from both those gentlemen, directly and indirectly. Today would have been my dad's 89th birthday. We lost him in March of 2012. I miss him every day. And I look up and I say, thank you. And with that, we're going to lighten the mood and say tonight is a big matchup because the Swan Valley Stampeders are in a battle. They've got to pretty much run the table here to catch Neepawa. Neepawa, 14 points ahead. Coming into tonight's action, Swan Valley has played 1 fewer game. If Swan Valley were to build on this 1-game streak and somehow do a Bruce Boudreau-like run like he did with the Vancouver Canucks when he took over a number of years back and almost pushed them into the playoffs after the removal of Travis Green and Jim Benning and replaced by Jim Rutherford and Bruce Boudreau as coach and president of hockey operations, etc. Swan Valley would go into the playoffs with one heck of a momentum. Right now, they have a .388 winning percentage, 17 wins out of 49 games. The odds are against them. But tonight, they can do something remarkable, and that is build on their 1 win from the other night, last night, a 6-3 win here at Centennial Arena. And they can put together back-to-back wins. And something of note, as we look over the schedule, your Swan Valley Stampeders, or maybe you're a Wayway fan, so let's just say Swan Valley has a number of games coming up against that team they are chasing, the Neepawa Titans. Unofficially, it's 3 games they've got to play Neepawa, and that is going to be huge. That is like a 12-point swing in the standings, the old 4-pointer, as it were. But tonight's action doesn't involve Neepawa, and tonight, simply put, it's Wayway that's looking to get a point, because with a point, they potentially, certainly 2 points, they would tie Dauphin, and they would clinch the 3rd playoff spot in the MGEU West Division. The Stampeders are coming to the ice as we get ready for the first period. Leading them out is Bastian. It looks like he'll be starting in net for Swan Valley. They're in their home blue with white and a little bit of black in there and gold. And they'll be defending to our left in this first period. Wayway's about to come to the ice in their impressive orange, red, and white jerseys. They're road jerseys. Still have to get used to that. So used to, for many years, white jerseys being the home jerseys, but not tonight. And the 7th man, a youngster, is out there on the ice with Swan Valley. And quite a few players lining up they're lining up on the blue line. There must be some pregame ceremonies that they're going to be doing here as we get set for this matchup. It's Swan Valley's 50th game of the year. They're looking for win number 18 and put together a 2-game winning streak.